How the narcissist fills their emptiness. Think about that for a minute. So you now know that the narcissist is empty. They have a huge void within them. And that void must be filled with what is known as supply. You were supply. What is supply? You may say it. Supply can be a pet. It can be a human being. It can be a phone. It can be a trip. It can be somebody walking 20 feet in front of you. It can be somebody triangulating you. It can be the narcissist ghosting you. It can be the narcissist giving you the silent treatment. Supply can be money. Anything is supply. And this is how the narcissist fills that void within themselves. But I'm going to take this a different level deeper. So continue to watch the video till the end. You're going to figure out something that you did not know before. Jumping back on track, the relationship with the narcissist and another person, which was you, and you usually, or you most likely have a high level of empathy, that relationship was a one-sided relationship and it benefited the narcissist. It didn't benefit you no matter what you think. Now, yeah, did you have good times? Of course. Did you have some great dinners and maybe you traveled and maybe you saw some shows or whatever? Of course. Maybe you had some holidays and everything that weren't blown up, but those were few and far between. The body of that relationship, when you were in it, which means the length of it, you were existing in the devaluation stage. That's the second part of the narcissistic abusive cycle. The first part's the love bomb, third part's the ending, and the fourth part is a hoover. You need to become unhooverable. Get off the radar of the narcissist. Do not entertain a hoover. Go no contact. Block that person. Delete them. Remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Now, all those things I'm sharing with you, they equal an energetic transfer between the narcissist and you. This is in the past because my hope is you've gone no contact. You blocked that person and you've removed them. But what they did, i.e. the narcissist, is they manipulated you. They had you thinking that they were similar to you. And they glommed on to your hopes, to your dreams, to your aspirations, your goals. They probably acted like they enjoyed the same music as you and liked the same dishes or the same beverages. Or they liked to watch the same Netflix shows or whatever they were doing. But that all went by the wayside as soon as something pivotal happened. And what was pivotal in your life? I can tell you right now what it was. You either married the narcissist, you told them you loved them, you were in love with them, you told them that you would put them through school, you gave them money, were their roommate, you had a kid with them, you got married if I didn't say that, you went into business with them, you did something that showed the narcissist, unbeknownst to you, that you were committed in that relationship. Now, before you figured out what narcissism was, and I can assure you it probably took most of your life, you didn't realize that there were predators out there. You didn't realize that narcissism existed. You didn't realize that narcissism was prevalent. So how could you know that the narcissist was targeting you? How could you know that they had an objective? They had an end game for you. They had plans for you. They were moving you around on that invisible chessboard that only they could see. You couldn't see it. You were one object or one pawn being moved around on the board. You thought you were the king or the queen. You thought that you were on that roller coaster with the narcissist, holding hand in hand and singing Kumbaya, and it was going to get better and better, and you guys were just going to continue to climb up. Well, no. What does the roller coaster do in real life? A roller coaster goes super high, but then it crashes down. And that's what happened with you. And that's what happens in these narcissistic relationships. They take you on a ride of a lifetime. Usually it's early on in the relationship when they're trying to love bomb you or show you a great time, or it's so sensational and it's magical and you can't believe that you're on this whirlwind experience, but that's what happens. The next thing you know, as soon as they get as close to you as they possibly can, then you're not fun any longer. Then you're not getting the cute emojis. Then you're not being treated properly. Now you're being disrespected, you're being devalued, yet you're being asked for money. Now the narcissist, this is in the devaluation stage, and you probably can relate with this. Now they're asking you to pick them up. They're asking you to wire them money, to Venmo them money, to send them money, to pay for their Amazon, to pay for their Uber Eats or DoorDash. Now they're asking more and more of you. Now you're committed. At this point, when you're committed, they know you're committed, so that's when the narcissist begins to pull back. And as they pull back, you are now in the devaluation stage, but you didn't know that because this is an energetic exchange, as I'm sharing with you. You didn't realize that everything that you owned, everything that made you you, all of your identity was about to go out the window. It was going to go by the wayside because the narcissist at this point, post love bomb, entered devaluation stage, they were now manipulating you and taking everything they possibly could from you. I'll give you a very basic example, a very powerful example, and this probably happened with you. If it didn't happen with you, I can assure you it happened with somebody you know. Did you move in with the narcissist, or did they move in with you? Or did you get them a house, an apartment, or a condo? Did you provide a roof for them, essentially is what I'm sharing. And most likely the answer will be yes. You probably did, at least for a period of time. When you did that, unbeknownst to you, you were now being groomed. You were being taught on how to behave. The energy was going out of your mind, your bank account, your day-to-day activities, and was going into the narcissist. So when you put them up, let's say that you gave them an apartment, or you put them up in your apartment, you said, hey, move in with me, we can see how it goes. Well, once they moved in with you, everything changed just like that. Now you may ask, yeah, it did change so quickly, Andrew. Why did it change so quickly? The reason it changed so quickly is because now the narcissist had access to your dwelling, to your house, and they knew you were committed. The key word here is committed. When you're committed, the narcissist pulls back. When you're committed, they take you for granted. When you're committed, they start really looking for your replacement, because they know they don't have to do much more work with you, and they can prepare for when they're going to punish you or discard you or string you along longer and longer and longer. But going back to the house, you probably put them up, and you probably blew through a lot of your money. And you probably found out once you moved them in, let's say you moved them into your house, you probably found out soon enough that the closet that you were using to keep all your shoes and your clothes and everything, they overtook that. They probably overtook your kitchen table, your couch. They probably overtook the bathroom or bathrooms, and they probably took your parking space. Should I go on? This is what these people do. They infiltrate your space, your energy, and they want to live in your mind rent-free. They also want to punish you for being you, because this is an energetic exchange. So as the thumbnail mentions, what the narcissist does with their emptiness, you need to remember the narcissist is anxiety riddled. They are afraid of a lot of things, but they didn't want you to ever know that. You may say, well, what's the narcissist afraid of? First of all, I created that playlist 5 years ago. You should check it out. Top 10 fears of the narcissist. But here are a couple quick things the narcissist is afraid of. 1, getting old. 2, being exposed. 3, being without supply sources. 4, having no money. 5, what they're going to do when the new supply kicks them to the curb, if the new supply is smart enough and strong enough to discard the narcissist. The narcissist is always looking over their shoulder, because they know that the demons of the past are lurking around the corners. They know that people are wising up on this planet and catching up to figuring out who they are. And that's why this is an exchange of energy. So what the narcissist did with their emptiness, they groomed you. They had you fall for them. They had you believing that what they were selling you was accurate. They were playing on your heartstrings. And maybe you didn't fall in love with the narcissist. Maybe you just cared about them. Maybe you just wanted to help them out. Well, they still played on your heartstrings. So what did they do? They were consuming your time. And as your time was being consumed by putting out the fires that the narcissist was starting deliberately, you were not doing what you were accustomed to doing. Example, maybe you weren't exercising as much. Maybe you didn't have as much time to prepare the healthy meals that you eat. Maybe you couldn't call your siblings who you care about. Maybe they're healthy and stable, and you weren't communicating with them as often. Whatever you were doing, your energy and your time and your money and your mindset was being misdirected or channeled back to the narcissist. And they knew this, again. So as their void, their hole, their bottomless pit within them, their emptiness was being filled by you and everything you were providing for them, what was happening to you? A big emptiness was beginning to open up within you. You were becoming devoid of all of your natural emotions and natural instincts. Example, when you're with a narcissist, do you have a voice? Of course you don't. You can talk, but you're not heard. And the narcissist doesn't want to hear your opinion. They just want you to pay for everything, literally and figuratively, meaning mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, every way possible, spiritually. But they don't want to hear what you have to say. They just want to make sure that they have access to you. So having said that, when the narcissist, when they realized, or when they discarded you, or they were in the relationship with you, that emptiness that they have within themselves, it was being filled by you, by your time, by your hugs, by your kisses, by your emotions, by your availability, by your money, by you making their life easier, by you putting all the fires out that they're starting intentionally. You were their support system. You were their steering mechanism. You were their supply. You were their beautiful, bright, shining light. That's my term, not theirs. And they used all this as much as they possibly could, as if the building was on fire. They were trying to get everything from you as quickly as they possibly could, whether you knew it or not, because they had other sources of supply lined up. Eventually, what happened? Well, the discard happened. That's the third part of the narcissistic abusive cycle. It's the ending, discard, or you end it, whatever. But when that ended, now you had an emptiness in you. And the narcissist was topped up with all of your energy, all of your love, your abundance, your time, your money, your relationships, your health. And now the smear campaign has kicked in, and now you are left a shell of yourself, frozen in time, isolated, abandoned, and you don't know what's going on because you weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school. So how could you know that the person that you're considering right now was not only an abuser, a manipulator, a liar, a thief, a criminal, and more, but they just dumped all their emptiness in you, and they just took all of your beautiful, bright, shining light to catapult them for the next leg of their life. And that's exactly why the cycle just continues to go around and around and around in a loop. The one common denominator is the narcissist. It wasn't you. So you need to remember this. The narcissist is empty. They're anxiety riddled. They're afraid of everything, including their own shadow. You may think, well, not the one I know. Well, you should probably think again, because they only showed you one mask, and they wore hundreds of thousands of masks, of which you'll see only a few of them. But as I'm mentioning, and I'll get ready to close the video now, what the narcissist did with their emptiness is they took it all and they dumped it into you. They dumped it into me. That's why I can say it. And that's why this is a relationship that you need to heal from. And that's why the healing path is not linear. That's why it takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time you will heal when you utilize the tools that I provide for you and from each and every comment from all over the world. But this is exactly what happens. And I've shared videos, created videos for almost 6 years about the energetic exchange between the narcissist and the empath. The empath is a real, authentic, genuine, self-imposed or self-fulfilled person with a lot of energy. Not the best English, but the point is this. The empath has endless energy. They really do. That's what makes me me, and that's what makes you you. And that's why you were targeted, because you have what the narcissist doesn't have. They don't have endless energy. And you may say, well, wait, I'm not so sure about that one, Andrew. The narcissist, I know, does have a lot of energy. You may be right, but they steal it from other people. You see, without people, the narcissist has nothing to go on. Without people, the narcissist can't get supply. Without people, the narcissist has no ideas. Think about it for a minute. Remove human beings from the person you're considering's day today, and imagine they're stuck on a deserted island, I should say, with no phone, nothing, but they have food, water, and shelter. They will go out of their minds because they have no one to manipulate, no one to lie to, no one to smirk to, no one to pull one over on. It'd just be them and Mother Nature. So what would they do? They can't get supply from a grain of sand. They can't get supply from an ocean wave. They can't get supply from a palm tree. They need to be destroying people's lives. They need to be infiltrating people's lives. They need to be creating confusion, chaos, manipulation, and trapping people as long as they possibly can. And that's why I will finish this video right here. That's why once you were discarded, if you were, and my heart goes out to you, as you were healing, the energy and everything the narcissist stole from you, because that's what they did, that had a shelf life itself. It was going to expire. It wasn't going to last them forever. Its shelf life was probably a couple days, weeks, maybe a couple months. I can't tell you. But the narcissist stole what they could from you, and they used that fuel that they took from you to fill the void within them. They left a huge void within you, which is why you have to heal. And they used the energy they stole from you to jettison and catapult themselves to the next new supply. And that's what they will do on and on and on. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to really go no contact and understand that the narcissist did not care about you as a human being at all. They just cared about what you provided. Again, so many YouTubers these days are using this example, and it's true. You were an appliance. You were a washing machine, you were a toaster, you were a refrigerator, you were a socket that someone could plug something into, or whatever it was, vice versa. But that's how the narcissist looks at you, or looked at you, past tense. That's why once you get the wisdom, you have to go close the chapter of the book on these people. They don't change. They won't change. They will never, ever be accountable or introspect. All they will do is continue to steal from other people, use those people's energy or fuel or supply to catapult them after they've been discarded to the next person, on and on and on. That's why you need to really get the message. The narcissist has fewer and fewer places to hide these days, fewer and fewer rocks to crawl underneath, and fewer corners to lurk around. You need to do your part. Go no contact. If not now, when? So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. I'm going to share a couple things with you. One, yes, I got a haircut. Two, I hope you like the new videos because I've zoomed in on me and kind of faded out the background a little bit. I'm still here live in the Carolina woods, no script, free flowing as usual, but I thought that these videos may be able to help you focus your attention a little bit more on the message than the background. I hope it's working out. Any way you cut it, you need to understand that when you were with the narcissist, this was an energetic exchange. You got the short end of the stick, so did I. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you experience it, you can't unexperience it. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. That's why you need to go no contact. And that's why you need to take this very seriously, extremely seriously, because this is your life. And the narcissist stole everything they could from you, and they left you with a huge void within yourself that you had to fill by you, for you, and to benefit you. Same thing I did. If you never met the narcissist, you wouldn't have had to do that, but you did. And was there any way to avoid meeting the narcissist? No, there wasn't. So you need to practice radical acceptance, understand you did meet them. It sucks. I'm sorry to say that. I don't like using that word, but it's true. And you need to really focus on yourself and maintain your boundaries and maintain no contact. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.